Welcome back, the passive income investors alike, to the good, the bad, and the ugly surrounding my $264,000 dividend stock portfolio, which fortunately is hitting all-time highs, but that does not mean everything is peaches and daisies here, folks, with a really odd term. So in the clarity of my transparency, we're going to talk about the cyclical downturn happening in the stock market, viewers. We're going to be talking about my portfolio in-depthly, and then something to do with some Bitcoin and opening a corporation. So in the clarity of my wonderful transparency, just help the channel out. Smash that like button, folks, but let's talk about what I think is most prevalent to you as an investor first by kicking this off and talking about some Google Analytics here, because we are seeing a crash in the market in a way that I don't think anybody but a YouTube stock investor can truly appreciate, and that is the fact that viewers have fallen off a bloody cliff. If you don't know Google Trends, this is a wonderful tool that shows you the search traffic under specific tag words, and we're taking a look at the tag words under stock market, stocks, and GME stock to reveal to you what I am calling the game stonk effect, which is basically ever since GME kind of started, getting boring, the entire market started getting boring to the general public. And if there's no better testament, I mean, take a look at this. Do you think the stock market search term has any generic relation to GME stock? I wouldn't think so, but it's quite apparent that it has, because it all peaked at the same time, and it was all selling off, or not selling off, because none of this has to do with a sell-off. It literally just has to do with viewer retention and who's actually looking this stuff up across the globe or the United States. Let's take a look at the globe, because this is just for the US. So what if we go worldwide? Are these statistics exactly the same? Yeah, they don't even change, guys. So there's a lot less viewers in the market, and I know this is a hard thing to grasp when you're looking at the QQQ ETF representing the NASDAQ 100 pushing all-time highs. The S&P 500 hit all-time highs. You really think there wouldn't be less people looking at the market, but trust me, there is, and I can prove this by going into my YouTube analytics, something a lot of people will not reveal to you, but because I'm awesome, and unfortunately this is where I turn to in the midst of losing my career amongst this pandemic, I have seen a massive downturn in my ad revenue, guys. Like, a terrible downturn. I mean, look at this. Even my viewer base peaked in January and February, literally when everything else peaked at the end of January here, folks. And even my YouTube channel has seen a sell-off from viewers, people searching my content up. It's just crazy to me. It's just crazy to me, guys. So I've literally seen a fizzling out of my subscriber base, everything across my YouTube analytics. I'm hoping has hit the bottom, because I'm like, if this is the bottom, I should be okay. I mean, yeah, I've seen about a 40% correction in how much ad revenue I make, but luckily, guys, I've very well diversified the way I do my stuff, and luckily I'm not fully relying on this YouTube channel. And again, I'm not trying to sell, I'm not even going to promote anything in this video, because I just want to give you guys the real base reality of where I'm currently sitting, and I'm going to talk about some of the good in a second, but how about we just touch base on the portfolio before we get into some of the other stuff that I'm doing, because honestly, guys, things have been relatively good. I don't really hold a whole lot of ETFs going on, and my portfolio has sustained this 264,000, up only a few thousand from last week. Nothing crazy. It is roughly the peak of my portfolio, and I'm super grateful because we're going to be getting a lot of dividend checks coming in. But I have been really entertained by watching my Ryokan, my Stag Industrial, which by the way hit all-time highs this week, because I mean, a lot of people weren't into REITs. They've been really boring literally up to the last week, when they're finally pushing back up and really showing some resilience, because many of you know Ryokan is my largest position, and now it's worth over $31,000 of value, 12% of the portfolio. The percentage weighting hasn't changed that much, but still, guys, the whole little pie chart, my well-diversified portfolio, is really making up for the lackluster performance in my SPAC plays, and I'm really shocked that even Bitcoin is holding up as well as it's holding up. And just to show you guys where I currently sit, because I'm super pumped for this month for my dividend income, because look at this. This is my tax-free savings account. All the money I make in here is generally 100% tax-free, and we've got Bank of Nova Scotia, Canadian Imperial Bank, Northland Power, Ryokan, TD, all paying out this month. It's going to equate to over $500 in dividends. We got MO in here. It's going to pay out a huge fat check because it pays me $619 annually. So likely getting about $150 US for the end of the month. From there, we got Stag paying out this month. So my dividend income, guys, is really luckily one of the most stable, passive income, really well-performing parts of my entire business model here, okay? Which is going to lead me into the next discussion in a sec. I just want to make sure that I don't think there is anything else I need to tell you guys. If you want to go watch my last portfolio update, that's where the largest of the changes happened, but literally haven't bought or sold a single stock. So again, things are generally unchanged until guys, I finally open up my corporation. Many of you know I've been endeavoring into this wicked idea of getting all of my personal, some of my personal investments into a corporate account along with all the money I make from doing this YouTube and stuff into a corporation, because I end up paying a lot less tax. And I think this is super, super cool because I finally got my debit card for my corporate account. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it actually says Passive Income Investor Inc. on it. And I already got pre-approved for a corporate line of credit, not a line of credit, but a credit card for $3,000. I mean, like, it's just really entertaining, guys, because I can literally bankrupt my company, max out that credit card, and literally just bankrupt it and not have it affect my personal banking or my personal credit. And let's say you do that with your student loan. But the only reason I'm doing this, guys, is it offers a bunch of layers of protection against personal liability in case I get sued. You know, if you ever go through a divorce, depending on what state you live in, here in Canada nonetheless, it kind of just divvies up your income. And this just seems like the appropriate step for me because I've maxed out my tax advantaged accounts, which you can't incorporate your tax advantaged accounts. However, I'm starting to build up a large sum of money outside of my tax advantaged accounts, and I'm going to start shuffling that in to the corporation. I cannot even express to you the insane amount of meetings I've done and the hilarious conversations I've had with bankers. The first meeting I had to try and open up a corporate trading account, the bank teller literally said, I've never seen anyone try and open up a corporate investment account for personal investments and trading. And that's primarily because when you open up a corporate investment account, there's usually directors, secretaries, trading officers, and all this stuff, but there's just me. So I literally had to fill out like literally 20 or 30 forms saying why I'm the secretary, why I'm the directing officer. Like, you literally have to state yourself as every one of these positions. And it was just really entertaining. And I'm excited because this has been an ongoing endeavor for a month, and I'm finally on the last stretch of this. And once it's all open, I'm going to reveal to you guys how I'm managing my personal funds against the corporate funds. But we're almost there, guys, crossing my fingers. And then the last thing I think I should touch base on, maybe not so entertaining to everybody, but to me in particular, I got my little key for my Bitcoin wallet. This is like I said, this is just nerdy. For all the stress and meetings and insanity I've gone through this week, I have found this stupid thing that isn't really making me any money. It cost me money to be the most relaxing, entertaining, nerdy thing I could do this week, because basically this is called a Trezor, and this is like a key to my Bitcoin wallet. So basically, as many of you might be aware, I hold 3 Bitcoin accounts right now. I hold one with Wealth Simple that basically is the most protected way to hold Bitcoin. I just can't use it or trade it. And then I have my Exodus wallet, and this allows me to actually trade and transact with Bitcoin, but I wanted an extra level of security. So this little guy here basically takes Bitcoin that sits in this wallet here, and it puts a lock on it. And in order for me to unlock this wallet and transfer Bitcoin to anybody, I have to plug this nerdy little thing into my computer, and it has a special code that I only know of that I can insert once it's actually in the computer, and then I can transact Bitcoin. And what this does is it kind of just brings Bitcoin into the real physical realm. It just basically allows me to prevent you from stealing my computer or hacking my computer and just sending my Bitcoin into your account. So it's kind of a really neat little idea. Oop, and there I go, breaking it and dropping it. And then I was really bored, and I stitched a little leather wallet for it just to make it even nerdier, guys. But I think this is just a really cool way of, further extending my Bitcoins. And right now I have $548 in the locked wallet, and then in my regular Exodus wallet I still have $550. But what I'm going to try and do is leave about $200 in the regular one, just so it's easy to transact. I can do it off my phone and I don't have to plug the Trezor key in. But for protective purposes, I'm going to leave the majority of it locked. And yeah, that's kind of just where I'm at this week, guys, with everything going on, the good, the bad, the ugly. And if you want to continue the conversation, me in the 6-figure mind, soon to be 7 figures, my boy Matt Money's about to cross $1 million in his portfolio, which is insane. But we're going to be discussing all of this live on our live stream channel at the Passive Income Educator this evening, every Friday at 10 p.m. So if you want to continue supporting the cyclical downturn in attention in my YouTube viewer base here, I mean, come on over, guys. Have a drink. We just kind of get into Tesla arguments. We talk about Bitcoin dividends, and it's just a general open discussion about some of the stuff that I mentioned here on these on these discussions about my portfolio, guys. So in light of all this, I as well pass the question off to you. How is your portfolio doing this week, guys? Are you experiencing the cyclical downturn in speculative investments and attention, or are you doing great because you're an ETF holder and pushing into all-time highs here, guys? Just a lot of cool stuff going on. And in light of this, stay cool, stay awesome, and I look forward to catching you tomorrow or tonight.